welcome back to Thought Bubble Podcast with us. It's obviously the producer and, of course, just Anthony. But we are also here today with a friend of mine, Brandon, also aka Twisted Goon, back in the gaming days. And he's here with us to discuss, I guess we're going to go into some health and parenting. I'm not a parent, but he is, and he gave me some really interesting advice for when I become a parent. Producer, you have anything to say before we get started? And then
Oh,
we have Mr. Brandon over here say something.
no, not really. Just I've got some very interesting perspectives on health
Mm-hmm.
from what I've been through over the past, what is it, six? Well, yeah, I guess 6 years. But this all started in college, and it's just.
Okay, you have
But yeah,
perspectives later.
yep,
And
yep.
Brandon, who are
Hey,
you? What are you? What's going on?
I am first and foremost, I am a father. That used to never be a thing for me, but it's weird how kids will change your lifestyle. But to first start off, I was just an average person. You know, never nothing special. Got into high school, started playing football. This is where my health issues started. I mean, I'm just gonna dive right in. You know, I played football. I played offensive line and defense. Problem is when you play football and
Oh,
you want to play at a high level, you
sorry.
have
I accidentally cut you off there. Can you repeat that last sentence, Chief?
the problem with playing football or the fact that I played offense and defense.
Start with playing football.
Yeah.
Okay. So in high school, I played football. I played both sides of the ball, offense and defense, on the line. Now the problem is they want you to be a certain build and maintain that build. Well, I did, and I got injured. I blew both of my knees really bad. Um, However, I couldn't play football anymore. Problem is, I was accustomed to a certain lifestyle because I had been playing football, I had been working out, I had been eating a certain diet. Problem is, I can't work out anymore as well as I should. I can't play football anymore, so depression somewhat kicked in.
Wait,
Needless to say, my weight,
why were you able to work out the way anymore? Or the same way anymore?
because I can't run normal anymore. Both
Oh,
of my
you mean
knees.
today. You mean currently.
Well, no, even back then,
Oh,
like
oh.
I can't, like, to this day I
Was
can't
it
run.
health issues? Like, what was it?
And I blew the ACL and MCL in my left knee and right knee,
Oh. Okay, physical
and
injuries. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, physical injuries took me out. And but back then, I'm in my 40s now. Back then, the technology for getting people back to healthy, playable status wasn't great. If you took a really serious injury, it took you out of the game for good most of the time. But anyways, that's besides the point. The health issue became is I kept eating the same habits. I kept eating a lot large amounts, multiple large amounts a day, and I had no way to burn it off. So it just started storing. Long story short, I'm in my mid 30s and I am dangerously close to 600 pounds.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk anymore the way I
Really?
should. Yeah, I mean, dude, going up and down a flight of stairs was impossible. Um, it made it to where I hurt constantly. Like everything hurt for no reason. Like breathing hurt. Like the things that you take for granted in normal day-to-day life, and especially as a parent, which I'll catch into here in a little bit, but getting up to go play outside with your kids, that's something that you want to cherish and take every moment you can. But when you weigh that much, you can't go throw the football with your son. You can't push your daughter on the swing because you don't have the energy to do it. And it hurts to get up to go do it. So I decided, and honestly, was thinking about the decision for a couple of years, but really pushed me over the edge to get this done was I was sitting there, and my daughter said that she was going to be in a play at school, and I wanted to go. I wanted to be there for her. So no matter how bad it hurt, I got up. I went, and I showed up there, but I couldn't stay.
Mm.
There was nowhere for me to sit. I was too big.
Oh wow.
And then and then it started hurting so much that because I was standing up, I couldn't take it no more. I got a fucking paramedic called up for me and sent away in
Oh,
an
you never
ambulance.
told me this story.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this was the moment that I knew I had to make a change because I could have died right there because of how bad of shape I was in. And that was would have been in front of my daughter and in her entire school. So I said, screw it. I'm fighting. I'm getting my life back. So I tried doing it the right way, and I couldn't get the weight to come off. No matter what I did, exercise, eating right, I couldn't do it. So I know I needed help. I reached out to, physical trainers. No one would help me because of my size. Um, I tried going to the gym. I got made fun of, laughed at, pointed at,
Really?
talked behind, whispers and shit. So I couldn't deal with that because it made me mad. And you knew back then I had
Yeah,
real bad
you
anger
were.
issues.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
think we all
I
did.
mean,
I think we all did.
I still got some, but they're not as bad as I used to be. However, I finally reached out to my family physician and I was like, look, I'm really serious about getting this surgery done. I need help. And he goes, okay, let's take the steps. They got me in nutrition classes. With the nutrition classes and the right exercise, I was able to go from 589 pounds to the day of the surgery. I was 420 pounds. So, without any help from surgery or anything, on my own, in the right eating and the right exercise, I was able to lose 100 and almost 170 pounds. So, that being said, there's no excuses. If you have the fight in you, you can get every goal accomplished.
Yeah.
I knew I could, but I was already approved to have surgery. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. Yeah, I've lost this weight. I feel great. I know I can go more, but I could really you benefit from the surgery to get back to where I should be. So I decided to have the surgery. Now, hold on. Let me give you a time lapse. I'd have got the start of the nutrition classes was in December of 2020. From December of 2020 to August 4th, 2021 is where I lost 170 pounds. Okay? August 4th, 2021, I have surgery. From the day of surgery to present day today, I weigh 193 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And you were. What was your? So this is one of the. By the way, to anyone listening, we were gonna have a friend of mine on. He's a very large person, very large, and I kind of really wanted him on here, just so that we could talk to him about what we've done. Because I've realized my top weight. So this is my question for you. My top weight was 280. Ben, what was your top weight? And I'm
Uh,
6'3", and you're what?
Mine was 250.
250, and how tall are you?
I'm
5'6",
no, I'm 5'8".
5'8", and then your top and your height. What was it?
I hover about 6'1", roughly in that range. And as far as I know, my top weight was 589 pounds. But I
580.
do think at some point I was over the 600 mark.
Yeah, and I remember you saying that, and I was really that why it freaked me out, and then I saw Kyle, and we talked, and I was just like, wow, man, I think health really um, health, like physical health,
I'm
really
gonna.
needs to be discussed here.
I,
Because you're a
I mean,
prime example of how it works. I'm a prime example of
yeah.
how it works. My friend Benjamin is a good prime example. The producer's a good prime example. But Kyle, maybe if he can listen to this and pick up some thoughts about it. But I think you said it right. You gotta want it.
Yeah,
Then
no,
it's
and
just a
here,
matter
here,
of how do you do it.
let let me add a little caveat to this because this is a very key part of this entire thing. One, you have to want to do it.
Hmm.
Two, you have to take care of your mental health along the way. Because if you don't get your mind right and healthy while you're trying to take this journey, you will be your own worst enemy in this. And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my journey along the way after the surgery. I wasn't say I'm the worst case scenario of what happened after surgery, but I was close.
Can I
So,
can I
Yeah.
just point
So
out real quick? Sleepy said something interesting on the chat. He said, "I've tried diets and they don't work," and that's true because a diet implies you're going to end it. You
right.
don't use diets to you change your eating habits.
You
Period.
yeah,
need you need to have a different
You have
lifestyle
to have a different lifestyle. You need to
because
make new habits.
because
Hi, Seth.
once you stop that
okay.
crash dieting, that's when
Let me let
that's
me
when you
let me
gain the
point
weight
this
back.
out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let
Um,
me point this out. When you are quote unquote dieting, you pick 3 days a week to eat right. You pick one day to be your cheat, and then you have the other days to be average. That's the typical diet week. Let me tell you what's wrong with that. You eat 3 days that are right, 3 days that are average normal days, and then you have one cheat day. Unfortunately, all that work you put in is gone as soon as you have that cheat day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And right there, so my eating habits, I don't know how to explain it. To me, it just seems normal. But I used to think I had an eating disorder, that I wasn't eating enough. And then my brilliant parents were like, Anthony, you're an idiot. When are you eating? I was like, I don't know, when I'm hungry. And they're like, okay. And then when's the next time you eat? When I'm hungry. And they're like, well, then good for you. You're doing what humans and every fucking living person should be doing. and that
Right.
and and because of the media and the advertising, everyone thinks you should be eating 3 meals a day. Dude, I live a sedentary life. I work from home. I my my creative output is through strategy, Hearthstone, and TV shows and podcasts. But so I don't eat that much. But it's like, but there are people, and I think you did this, that live a similar lifestyle, but for whatever reason, and I've never understood. When I was younger, sure, I was obsessed with the right burger, the right shake, the right fries, the right this, and it mattered. But now it's like, dude, I just want to. My stomach growls. I'm like, ah, oh, fine, I'll go eat. It's like masturbating. It's just like, ah, fine, we'll get it done. All right, cool, move on. Like,
Right.
good. Now I'm not hungry. All right, now let's go do what I want to do.
Okay, but okay, I don't want to be cutting people off or not giving other people a chance to talk, but look, I'm a fat kid at heart. Like through and through, I am a fat kid. To this day, oh my god, I will slap the shit out of some
well,
food.
when I was younger, I
Speak up, by
did
the way. They're saying you're quiet.
I did some dieting, but the way I did it was so if you count the amount of calories that you consume in a week, and then you split that up during the week, then you can have days where you consume a little bit more than normal, and you can still be in a calorie deficit and you can still lose weight. Because the
Okay.
problem is most people focus on the day to day to day, that by the time they get to their cheat day, they just go fucking crazy and they eat
Yeah,
whatever they
yeah,
want, and then they
That's
yeah.
gain
what. Yeah,
weight.
that's what he was
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
But if you
Right,
plan it
but
out in a
I'm gonna tell you
in
this.
a smart way, then it's not as overwhelming and you actually lose the weight, or you just
Right.
space out your meals.
Unfortunately, here is the problem. Calorie diets are absolute bullshit. At
Mm.
most, you will lose 10,
Yeah.
20 pounds at a time. If you want to lose weight on a consistent basis, I'm going to give you the best bit of advice the nutrition gave me. Get you a portion sized plate.
Uh-huh.
Literally. They will tell you how much you can have of this, how much you can have of that, how much you can have of this. Now, that you follow that template with the right foods, such as people, you're gonna hate it, but if you want to lose weight, you better suck it up, Buttercup.
Well, and you're proof
Play
of that. You're proof of that. Look, for those who
exactly.
just came in listening, you started at almost 600 pounds. We'll just say that. You are
Yeah,
now at 189,
no, 193.
193.
I officially got weighed at my doctor yesterday, and the official weight is 193.
And I'm at
So
173, and you're at
I'm at 187.
187. Yeah. So
if
that's
you want to
proof
lose weight,
that health, doing it right, works.
See,
yeah,
for a
I'm-
while, I would just go into the gym so I could eat what I wanted, and that did work.
See, I just don't care about food
But
anymore.
right, but see, now that I'm on those other medications, I don't eat as much as I did. I used to eat all the time, so that's why I would have to space out my calories during the day, so that way I could be like, this is what I'm allowed to have. All right, let me just budget this out because I have to plan for snacks. I'm diabetic, so I have to plan for.
Yeah, he has extra work to be done
I have to
because
plan for
he's
those.
got diabetes.
I have to plan for those sugary snacks
Right.
that I need to save me in the moment without going over my
Right.
calories. That was the stressful part. But
Well,
once I found something that worked, now I can have those 2 cheat days and not have to worry about it because I plan for those.
But your cheat days are slightly different than
Yeah,
normal
right.
person
They
cheat
you
days.
you
See, I've
keep
seen him react to sugar when he absolutely needs sugar. One day I said to him, he was like struggling, and I was like, "Why don't you just have a PB and J?" Like I offered him a PB and J, and the minute he put on he just took the peanut butter, and he was like, "Okay, I feel better now." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, all right." Like he's looked better, he sounded better, he was acting better. Like yeah,
all right. So, if you guys want to lose weight without
oh, I don't need. I need to
surgery,
gain weight, dude.
okay, but I can give you ways that you can gain weight the right way, the right
Mhm.
way, not fucking eating sloppily and being,
No, I'm using
you
protein
know,
shakes and then just staying to my diet, and
well
then
my my
that's
normal
it.
diet
Working out.
I actually consume healthy sources of fats like nuts and
yes,
I'll also consume like pickles and zero carb snacks
yes,
that are filling, but you don't consume anything that's gonna
okay,
excess calories because with my current job I don't move around a lot. Now at my
right,
old job I ate all the time because I moved around and I
right.
mainly
You
needed
burn
that
off
for
the energy,
the blood sugar.
right,
But
right. So,
I've been able to lose weight pretty easily, but because I'm diabetic, it's like 10 times harder because you're taking insulin injections like I was when I wasn't
right
supposed to because they
now,
diagnosed me wrong. So,
all right,
um,
I'm gonna bring up seeing how you're talking about like health issues, like diabetes and having to take
See,
insulin and stuff
I
like
said
this.
you're gonna have to stop him from getting distracted. All he does is talk about diabetes. That is his
Well,
thing.
well, he
here,
doesn't know
here's
I was telling him more about me, so he knows my
right.
perspective. But yeah, go ahead.
Here's what happened that for me. When I was overweight, I had breathing issues, I had sleep apnea, I was pre-diabetic, like I was borderline diabetic, like all of this.
I'm
Due
surprised you
to
were borderline diabetic.
well, no, I should have been, but thankfully they caught it in just the right amount of time to where I started eating right, started taking better care of myself, started losing the weight. Now I don't have sleep apnea. I don't sleep with a breathing machine. I'm nowhere near being diabetic. I don't have to take any medication. Like, dude, I was taking 800 different medications. Like, that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah,
I was
see
taking
that.
everything from
Yeah, that's what I was
testosterone.
doing too. Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely know where you're coming from.
You know, another thing that people don't realize or think about a lot because you're not thinking about it while you're doing it is, the your mind and body are kind of thinking together. Stress eating,
Yeah,
things like that. When you eat because you're uncomfortable, you eat because you're
Yeah.
stressed. It's or people are addicted to food, and it's very
Well,
interesting to me. It's never been.
what causes that is our main
Yeah.
diet is food that naturally stimulates your dopamine and serotonin responses.
No, I just
right.
always
And
found it.
so what happens is you get
Yeah.
addicted to that level. And so the problem with food is when you have unhealthy food, it spikes your sugar and everything, but
Well, yeah,
also
because you could get addicted to
right,
healthy food
but
too.
but it
Yeah,
also
no,
spikes those same neurotransmitters in your brain,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it becomes a drug response. That's all it is. And so when you keep eating that crappy food, you need more and
Well,
more of it.
it provides comfort. It's
Right.
no different than
Yeah.
any addiction.
Right.
I just always found it fascinating because a lot of I think a food addiction. I think food addiction is a bigger problem than I think it's overlooked. Obviously, obesity is one of the biggest issues in America, but
Well, the reason why
like
most
addiction itself is helping cause that.
right, and so
Well,
people
dude,
use food
there's
as almost like a legal means to feel good.
why do you
You know.
why do you think there is the term food addictions? Because you're addicted to
Yes,
eating.
Yeah.
clearly.
But
I just
Right.
said that.
I
Yeah.
want to
Thank
get
you
I
so
want to
much
get
for
I want to get
reiterating that
this
for me.
out. I know. I want to get this out real quick because I feel it's really important and I don't
Yeah,
really
go
have to.
ahead.
So, eating habits have to be done properly. Like I said, the portion plate will help you in milestones. However, you want high protein, like chicken breast, skinless, boneless chicken breast. And when you cook it, you want to air fry with at most some olive oil and
Yeah.
no seasoning. Seasonings are going to shoot you in the foot because you get addicted to, oh, it's got to have flavor. It's got to have this. No, you want flavorless. It's
Hmm.
going to suck. It's going to be ass,
That's
but
how my
eat
dad eats.
plain. Well, on top of that, you have to steam vegetables, steam broccoli, steam carrots, steam. You don't want to
No,
eat
no.
unhealthy.
No,
Frying is
you eat
terrible.
raw. You eat raw vegetables because
No, no,
every
no.
time you steam or cook vegetables, you're cooking out the vitamins that are inside of them. You need to
Yeah.
eat
I
raw vegetables.
like you can. You're better off
Listen,
eating like carrots straight from the
Broccoli
fridge
is
than you are
like by
steamed
far
carrots.
broccoli has protein, fiber, vitamins. It's perfect.
I'm
right.
better off
Hold
dipping
on,
my
I got
carrot
a
in
hack
ranch.
for
That
you.
I mean
I
that's
got
Hold
a,
on. What did
I,
he say, Brandon? What did you say?
I got a hack for that.
What's that?
So
What do you mean a hack?
you
There doesn't need to be a hack. I don't need a hack. I like broccoli, but go ahead.
listen. You're talking about eating raw, and you don't want to lose none of the nutrients and stuff like that. When you steam broccoli in an air fryer, and especially in a basket over the other, say the protein of your choice, like fish or chicken breast, those are your two main, or anything turkey, chicken breast, fish. They're all high protein. Fish is amazing for you because it has the fish oil, the high fatty oils, which are good for your body. However, you put those in the bottom, let them cook. You put your vegetables in the basket above it to steam. Anything that would lose is trapped inside the air fryer and is literally air fried back into it.
No, that's sorry, but no, that's not how that works at all.
That's my nutritionist literally said
All
that
right,
is it.
dude. Whatever. You know what? That's your opinion. If people want to try it, that's fine. But no, that's not how
Well,
cooking something works.
hey, regardless of steamed
If you
vegetable
like it though, no, you call it a hack. You're still eating broccoli. You're still eating healthy foods, like you
exactly,
said, fish, lean meats, white meats, not pork.
yeah. You need
Um,
white
m-
rice,
yeah, white
white.
rice was you were saying that was surprising because I mean I can't stand the
Yeah,
shit,
but,
but
but
I get
ca-
it.
well. See
It's
that's the thing.
calories
Rice
and
might be
carbs are
healthy.
not the big deal. Calories and carbs are
well,
not
if
the
you're
Well,
if you're
no.
burning carbs, no, they're not.
See
That's energy. That's all it is.
the reason why I have to
Or
stress
calories.
the
Sorry,
reason why
calories.
I have to watch my carbs and sugars because that does directly raise your blood sugar. That's the only reason. For a normal person,
for
they don't
you.
have to watch that all the time.
Well,
But
I'm speaking for like the general person. Like I'm sorry, what was his name? Kyle, the one that we were
Yeah,
supposed
yeah,
to
yeah,
talk to.
yeah. Yeah, no, and you're right. When you say it's a hack, it's like, okay, if you don't like raw vegetables, well,
Right,
maybe you'll like the flavor, because you'll get the flavor swapped and mixed together. You're not going to get vitamins flaking on particles of vitamin. That's not how that works, my friend. But, but it could
regardless,
mask the
it
flavor and you could mix it up
here's
a bit. But yeah, sure,
sorry.
air fryers are great to cook too because they're clean as hell
Right.
and they cook shit right.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. My wording was bad. It reduces what you lose.
What you lose. Okay,
yeah,
that I believe. That I believe.
Sorry. Yeah. My bad. My bad. I should have properly worded myself.
so yeah, by limiting that because you still need carbs in your diet. You still need you know
Yeah. I mean, but you want to take the right carbs, stuff like
right yeah.
white
You
rice,
want to take
stuff
healthy
like
carbs.
yeah,
But the
yeah,
problem
wheat,
is with like rice and stuff.
rice, or
It's
I'm sorry, long grain brown rice is really good also.
see with rice it's just for
Well, because
diabetics.
brown rice, because those are complex carbs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fine. So that
Well, right,
explains why you're eating. Yeah.
but what I'm saying is for diabetics specifically, or carbs, we have to limit like a lot of what we eat, even if it's rice or something healthy, because it contains a lot of carbs in a smaller portion. And so it's
Oh,
just, being diabetic, sometimes you have a problem with feeling full. And so
right.
that was my issue prior when I was eating all the time. Now I don't
Well,
eat that much. I keep
well,
my portions small.
yeah. Ironically,
Um,
what my nutritionist told me, instead of eating like three decent sized meals a day, and especially now that I had the surgery, I really have to focus on this. But break your meals up and make them smaller. It's
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
four,
That's what
five,
I've been doing. Yeah,
but like if you're eating 6 times a day, make 2 of those days like a light snack, like a small handful of chips, or like healthy chips, healthy options, so forth. Because like
actually,
Yes, Vector, we're live. It
yeah.
says live on the website, but thank you. Yes.
But no, I actually for me, I've completely taken chips out of my diet. I just eat like pistachios or almonds or
Yeah, So I haven't really brought up real quick. So this is what I literally eat every day on a normal day. If I work out that day, I will end up eating more. But on a normal day, like on a work day, when I just don't work out, I will have. I only bought them because I wanted breakfast sandwiches, but it turns out they're those lean, healthy style, like sausage, egg, cheese, on a croissant, and and then I just open it up. I put mustard on both sides. I put the egg and the sausage down on paper towel on a plate. Then put paper towel over those. But then I put the bread face up on top of that. Microwave it for 2 minutes. It soaks all the fat out of that nasty ass fat that you see on the and then I just press down on it and then I slap it all together and that's I only eat one of them. It's just a little, like you said, get a portion plate, and it's just one little sandwich. But once you eat it and you wait a minute, your body's like, "Oh, dude, you're good. You don't need more food." But the problem is people make these big portions and they
yes,
eat it so fast that, and then they're like, "Oh, now I feel sick." It's like, well, yeah, man, your stomach's not that big. And then they get
here's
used to eating that much, and that becomes normal.
and
Anyway, go ahead.
and then it
Yeah.
stretches
And then
and
it stretches your stomach and you need more food. Anyway, go ahead.
yep. Here's two very important pro tips, and any nutritionist worth their weight, uh,
Mm-hmm.
pun intended, but
Yeah.
a nutritionist will tell you this: do not drink, period, while you are eating. Also, smaller portions, eat slower, chew extra than what you think you should.
yeah, chew longer
Yes. And
because that actually tells your body that
Well,
you're
do you know why? No,
yeah
do you know why? It
because
helps
that
metabolize
well right,
faster.
but it
It
also
has a psychological
but it
effect.
also tells your body to get ready to
Yeah,
start
yeah.
breaking down food.
And then the other thing that you don't drink for is once you're done eating, your body will naturally be dehydrated. That's when you want to drink, but if you're drinking while you eat, it's gonna feel like
Yeah,
you're still hungry, but now your stomach's full. It confuses your body. Just drinking right after you finish one good sized meal, you're gonna just feel so good. It's gonna taste better than your favorite beverage. Like
exactly.
yeah.
Wait, eat your meal. Wait,
No
and
drinking.
wait.
No drinking
Yeah.
water while eating your food. Wait
No, no,
till
no,
after the
no, no.
meal. Sorry, someone's asking.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you eat your entire meal, and then honestly, I have purposely forced myself to sit and wait for maybe 5 minutes after I am done eating, and then I will take a drink.
So I actually the way I do it is it just happens naturally. Is once because I will focus on my food, and then right after I'm done eating, maybe it's because I've made it a habit, but now it's triggered an effect like in my body where it's like, oh my god, I'm craving water, and then when I chug it for a little bit, and it's so refreshing. You can tell it feels good in your tummy, and it's doing something right, but it's also helping break down the food in your body. It's filling the remainder of your stomach with something healthy, and and in that way, when you're taking shits and whatnot, it's gonna come out easier. It's like a laxative. You're eating a meal with a healthy laxative that fills the remainder of your stomach. You don't need more food.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, put the fucking pop down. I don't care if it's diet. I don't
Yes.
care if it's light colored. Fucking leave it alone. Pop is your worst
I
fucking
call it
enemy if you're
soda.
trying to
It's
lose.
so weird that you call it. I guess it's not weird. You're from Midwest,
Yeah, no,
but yeah.
I don't drink as much pop as I did. Even when I was diabetic, I switched to diet
Right.
soda, but that's just
Yeah, no, even still, dude. Diet
yeah,
soda.
yeah. So I went well actually I went from drinking like those 1.5 liter size diet cokes that you can get.
Yeah.
I would drink like one or one of those a day, and then I went from that to like a couple pops a day, and now it's like nothing at all, hardly ever.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. The hardest thing I ever had to do, and I was a drug addict. I was addicted to cigarettes. I was addicted to pot. I was addicted to pills. Like I was addicted to a lot of various different things.
Wait, do you mind if
The
I ask
hardest thing
what
I have ever had to quit was pop.
what 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 pills were you into? I've never asked you that.
Oh, dude. Originally it started out on Vicodin when I got some teeth pulled. Well, no. To be honest with you, it really started even back in high school, because I started taking like light muscle relaxers to help ease the pain after football practice and games. Well, then it started, getting a little bit stronger pain meds, and then I had teeth pulled, and they gave me Vicodin, and I'm like, ooh. These are nice. So I was on Vicodin for quite a while, and then Vicodins weren't doing nothing, so it became Perks, and then Perks weren't doing anything. By the way, those are Percocet, if people
So
don't
pain,
know.
you were into painkillers.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You're into
No, no,
painkillers, yeah.
that was me when I was in high school. Actually,
it
when
got worse. It
yeah,
got to where I was doing
luckily
Oxy 80s and
see
was
when I started, I was trying those things. I never had like I never started small. It was just what
there.
it was it was basically just muscle relaxers. Yeah, like you were saying, but that was a long time ago. Luckily, but
Yeah,
it does take a toll on you.
it does. And like I said, and those are some hard pills are hard to get off of. And that to me was a fucking breeze compared to getting to stop myself from drinking pop, because I was the type of person that would slam a 12 pack of Mountain Dew a day and think it was nothing. Like literally on an average meal, no matter what I was eating, would be 2 to 3 cans of Mountain Dew per sitting. And I went from that to drinking nothing. And just recently, and I know I just said don't drink pop, but just recently, like I've been allowing myself to have one here and there. And I swear to God, the first time I drank a pop after I quit, it was the worst tasting thing I had ever put in my mouth.
So
And
you
I
know it's
love Mountain Dew.
yeah, and that's what you and I think it was Sloan used to drink that all the time, or maybe that was you. But so someone just brought something up very interesting on our chat. Speaking of weed, M's edibles caused me to have massive panic attack and think I was having a heart attack. Ambulance ride to the hospital and everything. I'm fine, but yeah. So we had a little experiment with some recent edibles,
Oh
Oh my
yeah,
and
God.
yeah.
they were about as potent as I was expecting. It's the only time I've ever had the only time I've ever had a high from an edible was when they were so potent that
They go
I
worse.
was literally crying on the floor. I was curled up in a ball. People thought I was joking, so some were poking fun. But then I had one friend who was like, "Guys, stop! He's serious. Stop!" And then the producer here uh, got a hold of some of these so we could try it out. I only took a single bite, and I believe you tried what, a whole cookie?
No,
Half a cookie.
I did half
You did
because
half a
I
cookie.
I knew from other people's experiences if they had this one guy that N gave his edibles to, let's see, took an entire cookie and still woke up the next morning like baked as fuck, just
Damn.
stoned out of their mind, in the morning. And so I was like, all right, well, I will take half of this because I don't want to experience this at work of all places because I had work the next day. So I just took half of it, made sure I waited until earlier that night so it wasn't too late. and I was fine the next morning. But for a normal person, they could take it at 9 or 10 o'clock, thinking they're gonna go to bed. Next thing you know, they're up all night.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
And so no, I was gonna say on that note though, I only had a bite of it, and about an hour later, you start feeling that warm, fuzzy feeling. Your eyes get all dry and red, and you're just like, whoa. But yeah, so I'm glad. See, I just can't do edibles are too much for me. I never really delved into the hard drugs. I mean, I've tried my fair share of things, but like you were saying, you got hooked on painkillers. Really, I got so. It, and soda, we were talking about soda. That's what I was gonna say. The taste of soda pisses you off now. You don't like it, dude.
Dude,
Because of vapes, which is just thousands times better than cigarettes. I
yes.
cannot now. I still crave a cigarette now and then, but even when I hit it, it's like a couple drags, and I'm like, okay, this is disgusting. But I still have those trigger moments where it's like I see it on a TV show or I see it, here or there or whatever. But then the minute I touch it, I'm like, oh, go away.
Why did
Um,
I do this?
yeah, like why did I spend money on this?
I used to
Okay,
smoke
so
cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes on and off, and now I just don't smoke them at all because I vape. But then, like last night was the first time I had 3 cigarettes just because it was.
A rough night. Now,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say, Brendan?
so I have a funny story about edibles, and it has to do with my mom, who is now passed. But she one night for her birthday last year, actually, she was like, Brandon, um, can you get something for me special for my birthday? Now, mind you, my mom at this point had already had some very bad health issues and was pretty much bedridden for the most part. She could get up and move around a little bit, but that was the extent of her movement. So she asked if I could get her edibles, and I was like, yeah, I know a couple ways I can get something of that nature. Well, I contacted a few people, and eventually I was able to find something for her. And the guy told me, he's like, look, these are pretty potent, and especially for someone who doesn't normally partake, they should go very light. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I know what to expect for my mom. So I get back to the house. And I'm like, all right, mom, here it is. It's very potent. Take a small bite. Wait about half an hour to an hour. See how you feel. And she goes, okay. So I leave her in the room with the cookie. I go downstairs. 20 minutes later, I get a phone call, which it's my mom,
Oh
and
God.
and all I hear is, Brandon,
Oh.
can you can you come here? And I'm like, yeah, what's up, mom? Oh, I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't
I
know.
I walk upstairs, peek around the corner into her room, and I kid you not, if a human could be the absolute expression of when you put a hat or something on top of a cat's head and they like freak out and freeze with the big wide eyes. I come around the corner, she's literally, her head is barely poking out of the blankets with that expression, and she's dead staring at the corner of the wall. And I'm like, Mom, are you okay? She goes, oh, you scared me. Hi. I'm like, you just called me up here. And she goes, I did? I'm like, yeah, Mom, are you good? And she's like, I can't remember how much of the cookie you told me to eat. And I was like, I looked down to where I had put the cookie. It was gone.
Oh my gosh.
At least you didn't leave a plate of cookies.
Right?
I She ate the entire cookie. I kid you not. For the next 6 hours, I had to sit there and hold my mom's hand as she relived her childhood, teenage years, and finally came back to adulthood.
Dude, what if Santa Claus got left special cookies?
Okay, right. Listen, unfortunately, this is the time where I have to bow out. Um,
Aw, all right.
I know. I'm sorry. I do apologize. This was great having fun
Well,
talking
we
and
wanted to talk about parenting, but I guess we could do that another time.
I was gonna say, like, dude,
Yeah,
we
we
can
can just go
do
back to
this
health.
again. like
Yeah.
next week or a couple weeks from now. I don't know, but I really do want to do this again, and for sure we can talk about parenting. I have a lot of that
Yeah,
to deal with.
D&D and parenting. I'm very it sounds like perfect actually.
Yes. Hey, there you go. Stay tuned. Listen to the
Yeah, stay
podcast.
tuned for D&T. Oh no, we're going to keep going. You take off and take care, man, and good luck with what you got going on, but
But
thanks for
what I'm
thanks
telling
for
you,
staying in touch. You know, I've been trying to reach out to you, so I know you're busy.
yes.
I know you're busy.
Sorry, I work two jobs, have three kids, so yeah, it's anyways, um, but yeah, you guys listen to the podcast. I'll pop back in and we'll talk about parenting and D and D
Hell
if you
yeah.
guys are interested. Also, for guys that are out there and ladies, sorry, for anyone out there actually interested, today, if you have Disney Plus, a remake and a revisit of an
Wi-
old classic
Withered?
movie favorite of
Wi-
mine, Willow.
Willow, that's what it's called.
Oh,
Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, I saw that on my TV calendar.
Star
I'm going to
Wars
start that
Pages.
tonight.
Or wait,
Yes, please
that's
go
not the
watch it.
final.
It is the original is fucking amazing, and I cannot wait to see what they did for this new
Yeah, I don't
version.
know anything
Uh,
about it. I'm starting it tonight after
Well,
the
let's see.
podcast.
I've seen the
don't,
movie,
don't, don't, don't,
but
don't watch the
Don't?
original first.
Oh.
Watch.
yeah, no, I've seen the movie of Willow, but I've never seen what's this new stuff.
This new
What?
stuff just came out today, and it's
Okay.
basically it's years later, and they go to find Willow because he's needed again to help save the world with his magic.
Oh yeah, that's right. That okay. Yeah, they said something about that a while ago, but it's been a while since I've seen that on
Yeah, I saw a
TV.
trailer for it on YouTube, and then I was like, I just Googled it, and I was like, oh, it's an old movie. Okay, so yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
If you say I should start the movie first, I'll watch that tonight, and then I'll start the show tomorrow after work.
All right.
No,
Well,
the
with
movie's really
that, I
good.
have to go. It's been a pleasure. Love you guys. See you guys later, and stay healthy for real.
All right, goodbye, twisted goon.
Later,
All right,
guys.
see you later, Brandon.
Yeah, we should
Bye.
be right back until 6:30.
All right, and yeah, so Mr. Vector, yeah, let's go ahead and we can fix the audio now. Yeah, I figured out what was going on with the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So, you know, um, back to health and just in general, for me, luckily, it wasn't all of having to deal with extreme weight loss. It was just basically getting the right medication.
dude, I forgot to ask him this. The word, okay, so for anyone listening, this has been driving me insane and bothering me. The word again. We say the word again as again, but it's not.
It's a gain.
It's a gain. Because what does the word gain mean? And how do you spell it? And what does the word again mean? So, as pompous as that sounds, as cringy and just like, oh no, that is the correct way to say the word again.
Yeah.
I can't do
Yeah.
it though. I'm not gonna do it.
It's so
There's
weird,
no
but
fucking
yeah,
way I'm gonna
there's
say
no point.
again. Like seriously, like, may I have that phone number again? Like, think if customers hear you say that, they're gonna be like, I'm sorry, what? No, I'm not saying that. But yeah, okay, I get it, I understand it. But dude, just like my California accent, where I don't pronounce T's in the word accent, or
Mhm.
can't, or don't, or I'm not changing that. I will not say don't unless the sentence needs emphasis. But anyway, back to health.
So luckily with me dealing with being diabetic and having to deal with everything that entails, I it was mainly just get the right medication and the right diagnosis because at that time I wasn't overweight. I was at a normal weight. I was just, I was healthy actually. It was just the simple fact that I had a really high blood sugar. And so because I wasn't overweight, that's why they prescribed me insulin injections instead of just a drug that helps with insulin resistance. And they thought I was type 1 because of just how I looked, but they never did an actual metabolic test to prove that. And then it took them 5 years later before I got a doctor that actually cared and decided to do a retest. And that's when they determined I didn't need to be taking all the medication that I was. And I remember telling my old doctor time and time again, something's wrong. I shouldn't be taking double blood pressure medication at I was like 20, 21, and it was like what why am I doing this? I don't this doesn't feel right. And so I had to get off of all that medication on my own. I had to figure this all out for myself. And I'm glad I did, because once I got the right doctor and the right treatment, now I'm almost done. I could be done with diabetes officially in December.
So it's interesting that you actually mentioned that you had to do it on your own, because I feel like I was kind of pressured into the same thing because of when I was being put on medication for ADHD. They had no idea what they were really giving
Right,
us. We were
right.
guinea pigs for these new drugs, tetracycline, which made me vomit if I didn't eat first. There was Concerta, which made me paranoid, no appetite,
Yeah,
couldn't sleep.
I heard Concerta. There was something really wrong with that because
Yeah.
they had to
No, it was, and
recall it, I
adults
think.
were getting hooked on it.
Yeah.
I got hooked. That's how I stayed up and played WoW for 7
Oh, yeah,
nights.
that's
in a- Yeah,
right.
and my dad thought I was on drugs. I'm like, yeah, the ones you prescribed to me, or a doctor prescribed to me through your judgment. But anyway, but the point is, I went through life. I became an addict to alcohol, and you've seen me change from my very worst to, I think, my very best. And I did that myself.
Right.
I tried going to meetings and groups, but
Yeah.
I saw through their bullshit.
Right.
Not the meeting. The maybe I had a wrong meeting a few times, and I was hearing all the new people who were still lying.
Hmm.
But I read people very well, and I can tell when you're lying. And it was just like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell an honest story when all of you are lying about your own shit. The excuses they
right.
make. They're not ready to take
Right.
ownership.
And that's another thing
No,
too.
hang on. Let
Oh,
me
yeah, go
finish.
ahead.
Here, write it down. Write it down. That's why we got this done. But my point was, I went through my rock bottom, which you saw, hallucinations and really disruptive behavior, to having my brain back. You know what I mean? And being able to have these thoughts and have these discussions, and my health has gone back to normal. My my libido's gone back to normal. My sleep has gone back to, everything is just fit back into place because I chose. I
Right.
wanted to so
When-
badly. Yeah.
Right, when my sugar was so high, even though it was lower than what it was when they found out, I was still having those health issues. But because my sugar was beyond normal to the point to where I could have died, even though I was
Yeah,
down,
that's right. You were
yeah.
gone. You should have been dead.
yeah, even though I was around 2 to 300 just because of the diet I was eating, that was still better than where I was, and so I still felt better in that moment because it was an improvement, but it was still bad. And so I still felt comfortable thinking, okay, this is the best I can do. And because of that, I did some damage to where I feel like my nerves in my back, especially, because my spine is straight. It's just I'm still having pain. I'm still having those nerves fire, when they're not supposed to be firing, when they're not supposed to be active, and that's what's causing the pain. And it's like I feel like I have this long-lasting nerve damage from having so many years of not knowing I was diabetic, but then also when I did know and getting treated, I was still at such high levels. I was still doing damage, and so I felt so trapped because I felt like I couldn't help it. Like I would try everything, try to do this, try to do that, and I'd still have high levels.
By the way, real quick, just to answer Vector here. I don't know if he wants us to use his real name, but yes, I have been in 2 campaigns of Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's amazing. He wants to describe. I'm not going to give it away because it was so mind blowing. I was like, dude, you must discuss this on the podcast. But he found a way to incorporate Dungeons and Dragons into amazing parenting, turning his 11-year-old into essentially a 20-year-old mentally. But yeah, I definitely play. I'm sure you would enjoy it. The problem is we just don't really have the time. If we're doing the podcast, I mean,
we tried to with a bunch of other friends, but then we ended up not doing it because we would have to meet. We'd have to have a schedule, and
exactly.
Yeah.
It does take a fixed. Everyone has to be on board. That's
guess-
why,
I
like
guess that's
Kyle wasn't ready today.
Right.
It happens. Things happen.
I
yeah.
guess that's why it's better to play that when you're a kid, because then you have time.
Well, no, not well. Yes, but wait, no. We
Well,
shouldn't get
yeah.
into that. That's his point. I want him to it's too cool to
Well,
take
what,
that his thunder,
what I'm
dude.
saying is, when you're younger, you
All right,
have-
read you. What do you
Yeah.
want to go on about?
Okay, so I was gonna say that from where I started, I was having a foggy brain. I
Mhm.
was very lethargic. What else? yeah, my hormones were out of whack. My energy levels weren't where they should be, and I was going through all this while I was trying to learn through college. While I was trying to get an education, and so with all that stress, it's like I felt like I was doing two of the most important things that I had to work on at the same time, and because I was dealing with my health and having to control my metabolism, that took a lot more energy out of me than what I anticipated, and I felt like I wasted my time in college. Like I didn't take all of what I was supposed to get out of college. Like I didn't gain the experience I thought I would because I wasn't putting enough energy into what was going on because I was dealing with other things at the time. Because it wasn't just controlling your sugar. My back was really bad back then too, and so I was dealing with that, and so I couldn't move around. I still can't move around as what I used to. My knees now. It's like, yeah, it's better. I'm not having a job where I'm moving around, but like I can't move around like I did, and I'm almost 25, and this is scary. Like I've been lucky to be alive when I was younger, and now that I'm alive as long as I've been, I'm happy that I've made it this long. But it's like I'm only 25. I'm hoping it has been turning around for the better, which is good. But it's a slow process. It takes time and energy that I felt like I was wasting because nothing was helping.
You know what, dude? Fuck it. Every time we end this podcast, I'm just gonna say we'll see you again next time.
Again.
Again. We'll see you again next time.
But I guess we can tie this into parenting.
I don't want to talk about parenting, dude.
Okay.
No,
or
that's
I guess,
for him.
Okay, I guess mental health then. My mental health was really challenged last night.
Yeah, what do you want to? I want to discuss that because we need an outlet. We need an outlet to discuss what we just experienced. But hold on, before you start rambling and do what you do, again, this goes to etiquette. No names, no specifics.
Right. I'm not.
Just very vague.
Yeah.
Important details.
I got you.
Because I have never experienced or come across this before in my life. But we have run into someone that we know mutually who has psychopathy, which explains about, I don't know, how long have you known this person?
I've known him since...
Them?
Okay. I just said this person. I'm not giving names.
Him.
Oh.
Again, stop.
I've known this person for...
He's learning.
Let's see here. Since grade school. Like
okay,
maybe
cool.
Fifth,
so a
sixth
long
grade.
time.
Yeah.
My God, Jesus. Point is, for 2 years, I could not put a finger on this person's behavior. And then I started digging into research and different terminologies, different words, different behaviors, different patterns, all of which... see, Vector called you out, dipshit. You gotta learn this podcast. You're lucky we're still in the preliminary stages of this shit. Because Mr. Producer, you're about to be demoted to Mr. What's PA? Personal assistant? Yeah. You're going to be demoted to personal assistant.
I didn't know you. I thought you could just say him or her. So that's my bad.
That's the thing. Just stop.
So.
No, stop. I'm not done. We found out this person.
We're almost.
You have 40 minutes.
Dude, I'm tired from last night.
All right, exactly. We found out that someone that we thought was close to us is actually so far away from everybody, and he has psychopathy. And I've never dealt with that before, so now I've been doing some research into it. And also, we are going to be distancing ourselves very much from this person. But I'm going to research that because I'm interested in it, and I'd love to learn more about it because I've never actually seen it before. And it's kind of, it explains why I've never been able to read this person, because all actions they take have no purpose or reason or ration or drive or motive. It's just like they do because they can. And that's terrifying. You have no control over that situation. 1 second they're trying to burn down your house, the next they're everything.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so with this person, you know, I've known him, or I'm sorry, I've known this person. I've known this person for so long. It's been, you know, maybe 10 years, a little over that, and you know, I didn't start noticing this until this person got older, and talking to this person now, and I guess finally him opening, or finally this person opening up. From my perspective, I felt like I was being used. I felt like I put in all this unnecessary energy into protecting this person, to trying to understand him, to trying to help him have a voice, because this person wasn't, you know, wasn't taught they correctly. And so I realized I had some of those signs when I was younger, but I've moved past that, and I've grown, and so I wanted to try to help this person move along as smoothly as possible, because I could see what was happening around this person, and you know, the relationships that were happening and the effect on this person's life. And so last night I'm done. Like, it's just, I can't explain it, but it's just.
See, he's struggling with the emotion of it, and I've dealt with that for 2 years because I'm an empath. Look up that definition, Mr. Vector. So I have to care, which makes it even more frustrating when I can't figure out what to do to fix everything, fix anything, God, anything. How to use oven, how to lock door, how to close door, how to clean bathroom, how to this and that. I mean, if there's not enough how-to books out there for dummy. No, but anyway,
Yeah.
he's still struggling with the emotion of this. To me now, I've let go of it. I have disconnected myself. It's gotten so bad that even I have emotionally detached myself from this person 100%. And now it's just observation time. I don't know anything about psychopathy. I'm just going to observe and sleep with a knife. So, yeah, and that's not a joke.
Yeah, last night
Now it's an experiment.
I'm glad I found mine in my bag. Let's just say I was like, wait, I thought I brought
Hey, you
it
just
with
pulled
me.
out a
Yeah.
friggin' flip or switchblade on me. I was like, what the fuck? Aren't those illegal?
No, they're legal here in Indiana.
Oh, wow. I don't believe this is legal in California.
And plus, it's not as bad as
What
it
the
sounds.
fuck?
Like,
I mean, what if I just did this and then flipped it out? Couldn't I potentially just stab you? Well, I guess it's not that powerful, right?
I mean, if you're close.
Maybe
up,
if
no.
your clothes
But
were
if-
off and I put it on your dick or something,
But-
that wouldn't feel very good.
But if you were like this close to it, if you were just right here and you triggered the thing, yeah, it would cut you. But if you're really close to it, no, it's spring loaded. So if there's enough tension,
No. See, whoa. Vector has the wrong person.
Mm,
Vector has the wrong person.
yeah, I don't know. I can't form thoughts today.
Hold on, no. Vector thinks we're talking about M.
Oh,
He doesn't know we're talking about Z.
oh, okay.
No, this is Z. No, M can get his problem solved easy. He
Yeah.
just needs therapy.
Right.
Honestly, he just needs someone to talk to,
Yeah,
and if
right.
it's possible, maybe some medication, but I doubt he needs medication if he tries therapy. But he's just immature and definitely has like a what was it? Not bipolar. He's not bipolar. He's definitely
just-
manic, and
yeah.
there's I don't know, but he's narcissistic. He thinks, but it's not him. It's worse than my M.
Yeah, it's
M,
like
no. Z is someone who will
fakes connection.
hurt you and not even know they're hurting you, and then when you say that you've been hurt,
He
they
doesn't
won't care.
Yeah,
They
yeah, it doesn't
don't
register.
care.
It doesn't register with them.
yeah.
They don't pick it up.
So, yes, and yes. So we'll call it Sweden. Sweden is psychopathy. Has psychopathy. Yes, Sweden has psychopathy. And you should look up the word. And those of you who know what I'm talking about will agree that it's frighteningly accurate. And I've been around this person long enough. Again, I couldn't even read him. Me, like that's all I do, is make sure I'm connecting with in my job so that I get the money from this customer, or when I'm trying to date a girl or make a friend or blah blah blah. It's like you got to read the room, read the person, dude. You cannot read this person.
Yeah,
And
there's
and that's something I've never run into. There's no connection. There's no pattern. There's no habit. It's just it's just a shell of a human being making the motions, pretending to cry, pretending to be sad,
He's a
pretending
robot.
they
what?
are a robot. Every time you do
Okay.
this, I'm going to do it harder and harder. This is negative
Well,
reinforcement.
then let's stop the podcast because I'm fucking exhausted.
I love you.
okay?
I'll
I'm
stop.
fucking
I'll
exhausted.
stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. Relax. See, that's how heated last night got. That's how triggered both of us are. You could hear it right there in the tone of his voice. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna research more into this and just observe and hope to God that I don't get killed. And yeah, uh, it's been an awkward day, but I guess it's back to work tomorrow. And
Yeah.
yeah. All right, guys, this has been Thought Bubble Podcast with us. And phone number 925-305-6252. Email is thoughtbubblepodcastwithus@gmail.com. If you have any ideas, thoughts, questions, you give us a call, shoot us an email. This is the producer and Anthony, again, saying